Things We Imagine, the series all about filling your BIPOC fantasy index. I'm Portia.
And I'm Bayana. Today, we are doing a change of pace in this series by having the last two episodes feature two creators you should know well, us.
That's right. Bayana and I are participating in Nanowrimo 2021, and we're bringing you into our journey.
This episode is dedicated to our Nanowrimo prep, aka Preptober. So tune in, like, subscribe, and join us on our writing journeys.
Thanks for joining us today. If you haven't heard about Nanowrimo before, please allow us this moment for a brief explanation. So, Nanowrimo, or National Novel Writing Month, occurs every November with different camps and other writing intensives throughout the year. They organize coaching sessions, writing sprints, and so much more. If you want to learn more, there you can check out their website, which is Nanowrimo, NANOWRIMO.org.
While NaNoWriMo is traditionally used by writers to draft their novel, I'll be using this month. I mean, I guess I'll technically be drafting my novel. I'll just be like revising. So usually Nano is about like getting down how, like, it's a lot. Usually it's like first drafts or zero drafts. And it's like getting down all of the words on the page. Just that first time you're just like writing nonstop, not looking back. And I'm doing it a little bit differently because I recently finished a first draft, or what I guess is essentially a first draft. And so now I'm going to use this month to revise it and make it a better draft.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Very productive. I will be using this month because I am a first-time novel writer. So this is going to be me, my first time doing a novel project. And so I will be using Nano, I guess in the way like it's like usually traditionally served to work as like and actually doing a 10K writing like try to have end with the 50,000 word novel by the end of the month, which sounds so daunting, and I'm super scared. But that's why Bayana's here because she is very trained and has done this so many times. So it's not a big deal. She's very good at making things sound like not a big deal. So I just need that.
Very much freaking out internally.
Yes.
But externally,
exuding
cool. I'm cool as a cucumber. So now you know why we're participating this year, but why are we sharing our journey on Things We Imagine? Besides it very much matching our brand, we're Black girls creating, Things We Imagine is a collaboration between Black Girls Create and For All Nerds. We're hoping that you join us and that we can share encouragement for what you create and just, make it a little, like Portia and I will be like encouraging each other and checking in throughout the month, but also we want to like check in with y'all and see how y'all do.
And we are also going to be, if you follow our accounts, both the Black Girls Create account and the TW account, you'll see that we are encouraging all different kinds of like creation during the month. So we really hope that you check in with us as in we're checking in with ourselves. And we're hoping to set ourselves up for success by taking a step out of NaNoWrimo's prep list. Since Bayana and I have already covered a bunch of what we're thinking about, we want to especially stuff that's covered on the prep list itself and like getting ourselves organized. We are currently focusing on items number 5, organize your life for writing, and number 6, find and manage your time.
She said, I pretend I do not see. So organizing my life for writing, I was like trying to figure out like, what am I actually going to do? And I think for the last couple of weeks, I've just been like, I don't know, we'll just see what happens. But that's partially because I actually, the way that my like schedule is and the way that like my job works, I write almost every day anyway. Not as like regimented as Nano is going to be. But for the most part, I kind of already have that built in. Now it will just be a matter of like how much I get done and like tracking, like I have to make sure I hit, this goal today. So this is like the amount of time I'm going to take to do that or whatever. So organizing my life writing is a little bit easier. I do have to my schedule is a little bit different than it was. Like it's changed a little bit recently. So I still have to kind of like I'll have to build it out a little bit, but it's a little bit easier because I don't have to, like, it's something that I already kind of planned in my head to do. In terms of find and manage time, again, it's like kind of similar. I'm trying to make sure that I like have like writing blocks. I'm trying to make sure that I want to, like, I want to set, like, you know, we're going to set like mini goals. So I want to set like daily goals so that I know, okay, like I need to do this. And if it takes like an hour today, great. If it takes like 5 hours tomorrow, okay. But you know what I mean? But like, like, yikes, but all right. And yeah, and just kind of like going at it that way. I am planning to, I haven't gotten a chance to do it yet, but I am planning to like make it a little bit more specific. But at this point, I'm like, I kind of already have the foundation for it. I just need to like kind of just, I don't know, clean up in there, if that makes sense. Yeah. What about you?
For me, like organizing my life, right. So one thing that like maybe like not fully known by everyone is like my day job is writing intense sometimes like, and writing intense sometimes means I'm sending a lot of emails to a lot of people all the time. That is writing intense, but also like mostly right now we're working on this major like research project and I'm like the main person writing the research. So I'm trying to knock that out. Like you're seeing this whatever day you're seeing this, but today that we're filming is like the 22nd, and I'm hoping to be done with my research reports before like on like actually like next week. So I don't have to do any more like major edits or anything. Like I'm on my last revisions. And so I'm just going to like make sure when it comes to my work writing and my like creative writing that I'm not like trying to do too much at the same time. So that's one way that I'm like trying to like have an eye for organize my like writing time, my life for writing. And then I also, I want to actually, like I was talking about this during our productivity live stream. So if you're a Patreon of Black Girls Create, or a patron of Patreon for Black Girls Create, you can join us for our productivity live streams, which we have every month. This past one, I was talking a bit about how I am definitely like needing to be better about being aware and carving out time that I do have as like open time that I spend like wake up in the morning. And how many of us wake up in the morning instead of like getting on up, we sit there on our phones, like just scrolling away until like time, you know, you have to get together. That's me. I'm bad. So I'm going to try to organize like for myself, like I have a daily planner and other things that will help me like better like schedule out my time blocks for being like, this is not, for the month of November, we will not be doing any scrolling. We will be waking up. We will be drinking water. We will be exercising. And then we will sit down and we will write until it's work time. And then we will work. Then we'll take a break. And then we'll go back to writing. And that's like how I have to like get my vision in place. Yeah. And this is also when it comes to like managing time. Throughout the month, I know that like Thanksgiving week, I'll probably take that off of work. So that'll be like a good amount of space for me to like try to like get some time in. But I also need to be aware, like I've been watching different like author tubers talk about how they use how they set themselves up for success for Nano. And one of the better ideas I've heard is that they'll schedule in the month like blackout days so they know they probably won't be able to like put as much energy behind it. And I feel like for me, that's going to be a lot of days in early November. And then like later in November is when I'm gonna have a bit more time, but I don't want to over chalk myself. So I want to like try to like make that as balanced as I can. That's gonna be like my main like time management thing. And then see if I can take any extra vacation days off throughout, but I don't know if that's gonna be possible, but I'm gonna try. So I want to make sure that I have a balance in my writing time as much as possible. And I'm not trying to like push myself to do stuff on the weekends because I know I keep saying like, oh, I'll do it on the weekend. And then like and then I'll just sit here and I cannot allow myself to do that. I have to be like very on it if I'm going to write this novel. And so I'm hoping by doing this on TWI and then having the community discussions and having Bayana, like everything's in my corner for me to be a writer this month. Like I'm going to do it. We're going to make it happen. So all this, we got to talk about the next part, which is the next part of Preptober, which is like planning our process and what that's going to mean. And
it's such a like, I don't know. I've kind of found like over the years that like the process always, at least my process is always changing. Like I'm never going about revising or drafting in the same way I did the time before. I always feel like I'm just like doing it in a new way. And I hate that because I really like things that are regimented and like, I love, like Portia knows, I love a template. I love to create a thing and be like, great, we're going to continue to use this in perpetuity. It does not work for writing for me really at all. But things that I have been using, so I was trying to like earlier in the year, I was doing like I was like real research heavy. And so I started putting together this binder, which I did not bring with me because it's gigantic. But it's like this 3-inch binder and it's pretty full at this point. And I started initially, I was putting like any of the research I was doing, notes, pictures that I kind of was like putting together on Pinterest, maps that I'm drawing, like all those kinds of things are all in this binder. I also have them digitally for days when I'm not trying to bring that binder around with me. But also, you know, it's all hard copy and that makes me nervous. So I also have it in my Google Drive, but I have it on the page too, because I am trying to lean into the fact that I'm like a visual person and I need to take notes to like remember things and to process them better. And like, so I try not to be lazy and just like keep it all on my computer when it might actually not be processing in my head correctly. So I have that. I started so as I was drafting initially, I also was keeping a scene outline. So I have like my outline and then I have my scene outline. And so what the scene outline does for me is it helps me to track passage of time is the main thing. Part of it is like making sure I know like this is what happens in the scene and like knowing like what the most important parts of that scene are, but mainly it's for tracking time because my characters move around a lot and things have to happen within like a specific amount of time. And so I just want to make sure I'm paying attention. It also helps knowing like with seasons or like, oh, it's a full moon or like that kind of stuff. Because apparently, you know, I'm writing fantasy, so those things matter. And so I use Airtable, which I use for lots of things, but it helps me with scene outlining because I have like they have like a template for writing. And so I like am using it in that way so that I can like keep track of what characters are there or like where they are and all that kind of stuff. And so right now I'm using a combination of that outline, my binder and flashcards to try to like make sure all the plotting is together. There are some like scenes that I know I'm taking out of my original draft, scenes that I know I want to put in. So I printed out my draft and I'm like taking notes on it. I'm adding in like pieces of paper with like, oh, and then this is going to happen. And then making sure I'm keeping track of the scenes and like important like character development and character beats or whatever on the flashcards. And then hopefully that'll be done by the end of October. So then when November happens, I just have it and I can just like flip my binder open to whatever page I'm on and then just be like, now I'm writing and I don't have to worry about, except for like a couple of things. Like I have to come up with a new name for like a city. And like, there's like certain like little things that still don't have. I thought I would have. It's like the tiny things might not be there, but all the like major like plot points and like all of that hopefully will be together. I also use, so like this is this notebook that I have. When I take notes, I like to like, I take a lot of just like, it's all like kind of free. It's not really organized, I guess I should say. So like, instead of it being all in a planner and organized, sometimes I just need a page to be like, okay. And then like to kind of free write or to kind of like bullet point out what I think it needs to happen. And so I use notebooks for that. And so this is from Be Rooted, which is a Black owned. Yeah, I'm like, it's not gonna work. Anyway, it's a Black owned stationery company. They also have like their own website, but then they're also at Target now. So I have this, and so in this, I'm just like, it's literally just me putting in random thoughts or random notes or things that I just need to like write out before I put it in, like before it's set in stone, I guess is kind of like how I think about it. And then I'm also going to use my passion planner, which I use to plan my life in general. But the back of it has like blank pages you can fill in. So I think that that's how I'm going to plot out like my day-to-day goals. But I am probably going to do that after I finish. I have to finish prepping all the other stuff before I can be like, okay, now I know exactly what time or like how much I can accomplish in a day, I guess. So yeah, lots of stuff, honestly.
Yeah, for me, a lot of my stuff is like planning process. I've been like taking my cues again, like I've mentioned, like I've been like watching other tubers and then like just like trying to like explore and figure out what works best for me. Again, it's my first time writing a novel. So even though I've written other stories and I need to finish some stories, there there's like, you know, like this is the first time doing a novel. So I'm trying to like work with things that will like be with me that I know that work for me generally in life, which are planners. Like I do well with planners. I'm like consistent with them. I do really well. And also other discussions that I like have been part of, like help me like kind of think through how it's going to work best for me. So I do have Scrivener, and because it's very much like it has components within its like software that are already like adding things, like you have like your little like note cards or whatever for synopsis for each chapter. Like that's, I've already written out my outline within my actual like physical planner. And then I have I use the Scrivener like actual notes for synopsis. Like I just put them down digitally, so then I can like go back and forth and like change out the note cards as I need them. It also has like character background pages that you can use, which I'm not, like I have some stuff in there, but I do also have like a Pinterest board to help like mood sets. There's just like a couple of different items for like the digital component. And then also I've been like from like a writing course that I've taken like in other things, I've noticed that there's like I've been a lot of like recommendations for like, oh, like make sure you have a routine for like when you're writing. So I was like having just like a routine or some kind of like a like semi-ritual for like being like getting your head in this right space to write, and then like doing it consistently helps you to like get the thing done. So I'm planning to make sure that like each time I write, like I have like my book playlist on, like with songs that are like inspired by the time and setting of my story and like character progress and stuff like that. So then like, you know, kind of like, I guess like has like that subconscious like thought associated with it. So like, yeah, we're writing, we're doing it, let's go. Each time I'm writing. And my planner itself, it has like the breakdown, like I have notes in the back that I've been using to do like character thoughts, and then like other kind of things that I've been using to kind of like I've been using a book to help me think through like story progress and like what I need. And then I also have like my daily, like just kind of like keeping track of my writing. Like this is like all this empty space to talk about like what I'm doing which day I'm writing. And then I have my actual regular daily planner, which is like a happiness planner, which I have shown on TWI before. That's a bunch I bought from Etsy. And it has things in there about like writing what I'm excited about that day or grateful for. And I'm hoping each day that I'm setting like what I'm excited about, I'm excited about something that I'm looking ahead to writing for that day. And that way it'll keep like, I can keep making it like a joy experience, like in my head, associate writing with joy, and therefore not letting it become a chore as the month goes on. Because I know I'll be like super excited in the beginning, like, oh look, I'm writing, and then get to the middle and be like, I'm tired. I hate myself.
Yeah, especially the middle. You're just like, this is trash.
Like, why are they letting me type? I hate it.
I hate it here. Yeah, I know. Oh my gosh. I can't, I know it's inevitably it's gonna come where like whatever update we do for that moment, we're going to be like, this is trash. But we decided that we were going to do it. So.
It's gonna be the Mimi from Real Housewives. Me, like, oh child, the ghetto.
First drafts are the white refrigerators of writing.
At least as long as they're not the summer, spring, fall joggers, we're good.
Right. They're coming. We know that it's here.
Actually gonna be.
It's gonna work. Okay.
And by the end of November, it will be here.
Yep.
Okay. It's not like spring, fall. No, end of November.
It's done. We've done it. So these all sound like great ways to organize our writing regimens. We'd also love to hear from anyone else participating in how you're setting yourself up for writing success. Let us know. I might have to, I love an organizational tool too. So like, let me know, because I might be like, ooh, might have to.
I will say,
might have to incorporate. Like,
I just saw that, where Airtable is your thing, Google Calendar is my buddy, and I recently saw that Google Calendar added a new component for work, putting in blocks of time for just like focus blocks, and I was like, Google, you're speaking my language.
Interesting.
So that might be a new component I might be trying to figure out in the next week and see if that'll come part of my thing. We'll see when we do our check-ins, which we're going to talk about now. We want to give y'all a heads up into what you can expect next episode when we go more in depth on like our experience and what's going on. So outside of organizing and just being prepared, which we're talking about in this episode, why don't we just talk about how we're going to stay committed going forward and like doing NaNoWrimo?
Yes. So without further ado, here is our Things We Imagine weekly rewards map. Yay!
We did it. Okay. So I know that, like, I didn't mention this, but I do also have, like, I'm going old school. I'm going back to kindergarten. I have some pretty, like, holographic stars I'm going to give myself each time I, like, accomplish a writing goal, whether that's, like, writing or whatever. In my planner, like, Bayana is going to create, like, daily goals for herself. I'm going to try to have some kind of, like, daily or every other day kind of goals so I can kind of have something in my vision to use those stars for. But this is something that we want to work on, like, for everyone to have, like, shared goals, shared rewards that we're going to do every week. And we hope that you can join us too. So if you're participating in Nano, or if you have any other creative work that you plan to do this month and you want to have like a beginning of the month goal and then end of the month check-in, we have weekly check-ins throughout as well. So I will start at the beginning. So I don't know if you know, but Bayana and I love our nails.
Maybe you haven't noticed, you know.
We're part of Team Clickety Clack. And as you can see here, Clickety Clack. And we really want to like start like and have like the month like have something fun to like keep us going and motivated. And what better way to do that than to have some decorative nails related to like our projects or like writing. And so the next time you see us, you will see us with our reward for doing our nano prep and completing our like month focus time and all of that, getting that organized and together, because getting organized is half of all the work. So we need to reward ourselves for that. Like we have to treat ourselves.
Yeah. And then as we're typing on the computer, we can like admire the art that we have on our fingers.
And then we'll be creating art with those same fingers. Okay. So it's like a whole thing.
It's a circle. It's a cycle.
That is November 1st. So we're going to start off the month on a high note.
Yep. So for the 6th, our goal is to meet a word count of somewhere between 8 and 10,000 words. And a reward for that will be a candle purchase. Bonus points if it's bookish or seasonal, since, you know, we're like coming into the holidays. But yeah, we just need like some ambiance and smell good, just like relaxing. Yeah, I need to still scope out like what candle I'm looking at. I'm not sure yet.
Yeah, I have a couple of seasonal ones in mind. There might be a bookish one. I don't know. We'll see how we go.
Yeah.
For November 13th, our goal is to write one chapter or section, so that, like, however we're dividing this, because I know that, you're not writing chapters, you're like revising them or whatever. So while it's still writing, it's not like you have to, like, your whole scope is going to be, I have to do this one chapter. Like, it's multiple things. So we want to do, or also, like, maybe you just cannot allow your brain to do more than like a couple of pages before you're like, I have to look at it. So we want to do one chapter or passage entirely in white font. This is to, like, for the controlling side and, like, my editing brain that will not turn off. To jolt it off is to just write. If I can't see the words, I can't edit the words. And part of Nano and getting that, like, zero draft or first draft down is to just put the words on the page and to not think about editing. So this is kind of forcing myself to just do the thing and not think about it and come back to edit it when the month is done. I probably won't wait till the month is done to, like, actually go back and see what it looks like, but at least for that week, I will have tried to, like, I will have done it. And then if I go back and fix a couple of things before the end of the month, that's great. That's how I'm hoping to do it.
Yeah.
And then our week 2 reward will be to get a meal delivered to ourselves, because
we deserve
definitely the stress of that.
Yeah. Not I. All right. Week 3. This is like we'll be in it at this point. Week 3 goal is to write with a friend. So that can be, it can be more than one friend. It can be like a little, like, group situation. Could just be two homies just on the, it could just be me and Portia, like, you know what, we're just gonna get it done. But that's always fun too, because it's like a little bit of extra motivation. You're, like, not just sitting. Writing can be really isolating. So we wanted to have a goal that's like, no, we're still doing this in community. And, like, sometimes you also need to, like, talk things out with people too. So that could also give you an opportunity if you're, like, stuck on something, be like, okay, let me write with the homie, and then I can, like, talk at them, and then I'll get whatever I was trying to figure out worked out. This reward will be a baked treat of our choice. I'm very excited for whatever it is I decide to get. I'm going to be really good and make sure that it's gluten-free and not, mess myself up, and then I can't write because I made myself sick.
Yes. Yeah, we have that in common. We're like, I'm gonna try for gluten-free. Like, I'm gonna do it. If I had, like, the only thing is, like, I feel like the only trusted gluten-free thing I can think of, like, would probably be if I got, like, a place that I know, like, made, like, flourless, like, brownies or something like that. And I don't know where those are in relation to where I am.
Well, you should see if there's any, like, gluten-free bakeries near you, because there's one that's, like, semi near me. Like, sometimes I get delivered, but sometimes I'll go, like, pick up or whatever, and they have, like, a lot of cool stuff. So I might do pickup, because there's, like, certain things that they don't deliver, and some of that stuff that they don't deliver is, like, I haven't gotten to have it yet, because I'm like, maybe it'll be something I haven't had before.
Yeah,
from them. Obviously,
yeah. Or I was like, the only other thing I could think of is to make it myself, but I'm gonna be in the middle of writing. I am not gonna be wanting to bake treats. So we'll see. We'll see what happens with that one.
I mean, maybe you will. Maybe you'll feel like really good. I wrote with a friend. I'm finna bake. Like, maybe that.
We'll see what happens. So the final week of, like, the challenge, because, like, the week, like, after that, like, November 31st is only 4 days away from this, like, final check-in. And, if you're noticing the patterns, like, every Saturday or so, we're checking in. So on November 27th, for the weekly goal, we don't know what your word count is. Have no idea.
Let me see what 87% of my word. Sorry. I just...
You saw that number, you're like, ooh.
I'm like, ooh, what is that?
So 87% of the word count, honestly, when I, because of course I put the percentage. So if 100% is what you should have by November 31st, you should definitely have 87% by November 27th. And so I have, I'm hoping I'm going to shoot for 50K. If I get midway through if I get to like week 2 and I'm like, girl, you are not gonna make 50K, I will adjust my 50K goal or whatever, because but I know that I need, like, for the genre, I'm gonna need to like come back and revise and have more than 50K. So I'm gonna shoot for 50K straight up. We'll see what happens. But 87% of word count is like feasible, because whatever your goal is, you can figure that out.
Yeah.
And to like top off, like, okay, so you wrote all those words, now buy some words. And so we get to gift ourselves a new book. Hopefully we're supporting a local bookstore.
Mm-hmm.
Or, because it's going to be a quick turnaround, maybe we're not, but we'll see.
We're going to do what we can. I have to figure out, I need to look through my like to buy list and see like what's going to be my writing reward. I don't know yet.
Same boat. I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of, there's one book in particular that I know that I want, but I don't know how well it's stocked in the local bookstores. I guess I have to call and see if it's stock.
Yeah. Maybe I'll go to the bookstore I've been buying from like since quarantine started. I haven't actually been to the store. Like I've only delivered from them and they're so nice. Like I just
like I'm showing my face.
So yeah.
I love your work.
If you're in the Bay Area, especially if you're in like Walnut Creek, Flashlight Books, they're so great. I still again have not met them, but like they'll arcs. Yeah, they give me arcs. They like will be like, oh, we see like these things, like, oh, we also recommend like these books, and like they're great. Sometimes they'll like send emails that are like, oh, your thing is about to ship. By the way, I loved this book that you just bought. And I'm like, this is great. So yeah, I'll like go in. I have to figure that out. Definitely getting a new book.
The book is gonna happen regardless.
The book is happening. Whatever, through hell or high water. It's getting got. And then the end, November, I think 30th is the end.
I mean, 31st is the last day.
No, I think there's only 30 days in November.
The Halloween is 31st.
October.
Oh crap. Yes, that's what happened. Okay.
It's fine. We're, again, we're prepping. So once we're done, we are going to purchase wine or another beverage of your choice. For us, it will likely be wine, to celebrate making it to the end.
If there's ever a need for a celebratory drink, it will be after the first time I write a novel, because who knows?
Got to. Really got to. It'll either be like a, I think it'll be regardless, you've done it.
It'll be done.
It's an accomplishment. We've done the thing. And we're going to get some wine because of it. I'm very excited. I'm excited about all of these goals, or these like rewards, honestly. But yeah.
Yeah. And we're just to like give y'all FYI, you see this now, we're premiering our reward and goals map here, but we will be sharing access to this link. So if you want to go through and you want to like follow along, or we'll make it both something that you can see listed, and you can have the like link and check out what's going on here if you want the little quick gifts and all that kind of stuff to guide you along.
Yeah, and even if like some goals are like, or rewards are like, it's not really like my thing, you can also just like switch them out for yourself. It's to reward yourself. It's for you.
Yes.
These are the things we like. Yes. So that's what we are going to be rewarding ourselves with.
Yeah. And if you do engage in the challenge, please let us know. We would love to hear that other people are like taking some of the challenges that we're doing for ourselves, and doing that as soon as like we are. Like if you're gonna do the writing all white, let us know how that is going for you. So I'm sure that is a thing.
I'm really interested to do that one because I've never done it before. And like I'm revising, but there are definitely scenes and like chapters that I have to write from scratch. So I'm sure it'll line up like where it'll just be like, oh, I have this chapter I gotta write this week. Guess I'm gonna let's go change that font color. So that'll be interesting.
Yeah. One thing I realized is that we are talking about doing all this writing and our process and all that stuff, but neither of us have like shared anything about like what we're writing. Like, you want to give like a loose premise?
That's
I'm not
true.
going to give a full premise because I
That
don't
is
want.
very true.
If anything changes, I don't want anyone to be like, "Girl, I thought you were writing this." Like, no.
Ooh, okay. I can try because the only reason I say try is because like the like pitch that I had before doesn't actually work now that I changed the plot. So a little bit of backstory on the reason why I'm like it's a revision of a first draft is because I have been writing this book for 2-ish years. But I recently had to replot the entire thing. So it's essentially what I have as a first draft because the majority of it was not the plot at all. It like starts the same and then it goes in a totally different direction. So it is, so it's like, I would say like the world, it's fantasy. It's a YA fantasy. And I would say that it's like African diaspora inspired. So like it takes a lot of folklore from like West Africa. But I'm also trying to combine that with African American folklore and like stories and all that kind of stuff. So like I think a few episodes back, I recommended the African American folk tales, like that gigantic book by Henry Louis Gates. So all the research I was doing for that was for this. And so the story is about essentially these two teens who are kind of on this quest to find this magical book that contains the stories of the realm. There's a lot more complicated stuff happening, but I guess at the bones of it, that's what it is, basically.
So that's interesting. So having read like your early draft, it sounds like pretty similar to what the like journey is, like the
it's
like
similar
overall thing.
Yeah, it's similar, but different because before but like before there was like it was like a chase kind of thing, and that's not happening anymore. So like it's the same characters. They could what the most like hilarious thing for me is that they go, so I have this map, and for years they were going in a very specific direction on the map, and when I change the plot they are literally going in the opposite direction. And so I had to come up with like all new like places, and like that's why there's still a city that's unnamed because it didn't exist until like this draft or whatever. So it's just really funny because it's very similar and the characters are the same and like all that, but and even the end goal is the same, but what happens and how they get there is just like on a different, it's just different. But I like it better, so it's good. It was a struggle to get here, but it feels like it's on the right track.
Is there still a young dragon involved?
Yes, there is.
You're bearing the lead.
Yes.
You're being a young dragon.
There is a BB dragon. There is a BB dragon. She's the cutest.
She's adorable.
At some point, she won't be a BB anymore, but for now, she's still little.
Yay! So okay, like I love all things young and animals, so like Pokemons and like Grogu, like my brand.
Mm-hmm.
So and also Baby Groot. So where am I? Yes, so my story. So my story is going to be about a woman who's like in her mid to late 20s, and she is, I don't know if let's just do a little bit. So if you got the Black Girls Create anthology series, anthology book that came out, I had a story in there called Amingasi, and it honestly is like a short excerpt from a short story that covers this family of Amingasi, who are basically like seers based on like West African like tales of like what's this like seer aspect is. And they have different, like they're all seers in different ways, and their abilities manifest in different ways. In my stories, and that one is kind of like a prelude to what actually happens in this story. we're introduced to, at the end of that short story that I have to finish, is we are introduced to the main character of the story that I'm writing, who at the time of the short story is like a teenager, and then in this she's grown, and she has the ability to like sense the history and possibly future of items that she touches. And so she's used that to gain a position in an auction house in Virginia. And she is, of course, like if you're at auction house in Virginia, that's a lot of old phrases, items to be coming across. And so as she's there, she kind of like gets entangled in this world of one, like vampires who are like have hoarded their wealth and been like washing it through like auctions and all that kind of stuff over time. And so like these really old stuff. And then she also runs into a group of like Black, basically like Robin Hood kind of characters, like an orc, like Robin Hood kind of characters, who have been like siphoning wealth away from these vampires over time. And both sides want to use her abilities for their own good. And she has her own motives that she's trying to follow based on what her family needs are. So all these different conflicting things. And then the org that is like a kind of like Robin Hood kind of org is led by a historical Black figure that I don't want to name right now. Who I think that people will be interested to see them still being alive, but not quite being a vampire. And I think that like the things that have been like getting me through it have been like the idea of like vampires and like I love like old antiques and stuff like that and like treasure. And then like also like it's gonna be kind of like a heisty kind of feel to it. Like there's gonna like because of the Robin Hood org, there's gonna be some like heisty stuff going on. So we just got a little in magic. So it's all that put into a little story novel, hopefully.
Things are happening. By the end of next month, you're gonna see us like we did it.
Honestly, that did not go the way I thought it was going to. I thought it was going to go here, and this character said, "Nope, I'm not doing that."
Way left. Yeah, I love when that happens. As long as there's a solution. If it's just this doesn't, yeah. If it's this doesn't work, I hate that. But if it's like actually, I want to do this instead, I'm like, oh,
that makes sense.
We can do that. We can make this work. So yeah, also we want to know what y'all are working on. So let us know. And be sure to check out the map and other tools that we'll share throughout the month on our Twitter account.
Yeah. And then generally, what you think, what we will be happening on that. So we're talking about these next 2 episodes will be about Nanowrimo and our journey. So what you can expect in the next episode is 1, you have to come back to see what Bygone and I do for our nails, reward ourselves for Preptober. Like you got to come through and see what that is. So we definitely will be giving you an update and showing that off. We'll also probably be showing that off on our Things We Imagine IG account because why wouldn't we? So we're going to be doing that as well. We're also going to be changing things up a little bit, and we're going to be doing like vlogs through like we're going to be filming ourselves vlogging days that we were writing, so you get to actually see us and how our different ideas for organization and prepping actually come through when we're trying to write, as well as like Bygone and I ourselves are going to be doing check-ins each weekend on those days that we have out on the map. Like we'll have checked in on those days, and so you'll see footage from us talking to each other about like, how's it going, man? I don't know. Like you will get that conversation.
Yeah. And then we'll also, we'll share our map updates. We'll like show off our other rewards. And then we'll do kind of a like final check-in reflection on where we are with our books at the end of the month. Like whether we met our goals, whether we had to adjust them, whether we surpassed them, who knows?
Join us next time.
Yeah. You'll find out when we find out. So yeah, that's it for this special Preptober episode of Things We Imagine. Thank you for joining us for the start of our Nanowrimo prep. Super excited to do this. I haven't done Nano in years, usually because every time I don't actually have like a draft to write during that month. And so I'm excited to use it, even though I won't do it like traditionally this time.
I'm just excited about doing it for the first time ever. I keep hearing about it. I keep wavering, like, am I gonna do it this year? Nah. Am I gonna do it this year? Nah. And this time I'm actually like, I have a novel idea. I have enough of the stuff together to get it going. I'm gonna do this. So I'm excited. And I'm excited to have more great talks about this and with BIPOC fantasy creators who are going to be on this journey as well. So we'll see if we'll have any Twitter discussions, and you'll see us like retweeting and kind of propping up other people who are doing this, as well as our just journey itself. If you want to catch that, make sure that you hit the subscribe button here on YouTube, because you will catch that next episode and catch our progress and how we do. Also follow us on Twitter at Black Girls Create. And thank you for joining us for this. Hope to see you in the next ones. Happy NaNoWriMo.
Good luck.
May the odds be ever in your favor.